You are listening to the Marriage and Real Estate Podcast, where we navigate partnership, prosperity, and parenthood. Join us each and every week as we give you tips, tools, and tactics to build the life of your dreams.
Hey guys, this is Aisha Shelton.
And this is Kevin Shelton.
Welcome to Marriage and Real Estate.
We're going to call this the remix because we back in action.
The replay, the redo.
The post-corona, Kevin and Aisha.
This is not post-corona. We are still in corona times right now.
That is true.
So this is the reintroduction of...
For the third time.
Back like we never left.
Like we didn't just have a whole baby.
And the coronavirus.
That's true.
The whole pandemic.
Whole new world. So we've been in the house, y'all.
We have.
Bored in the house and I'm in the house. Bored in the house and I'm in the house.
We've been in the house and we have been lamenting that we need to pick up the mic again. So here we are.
It sounds like a rapper.
Is it?
Pick up the mic. Come out of retirement.
Pick up.
Allow us to reintroduce ourselves. We are the Sheltons.
Oh.
No. Okay.
Right. So this episode is called Brand New Baby and
the Coronavirus.
Sorry. The Coronavirus. I'm laughing, but this is a very serious matter. I lost a family member to the coronavirus, so it's really no laughing matter. For real. I mean, it's really real out here. And we, the Sheltons, are holding up the best we can.
Yeah, we've just been trying to concentrate on taking care of our family, taking care of us at home, making sure that we're staying safe, finishing projects because we're essential workers. We're still working. Mm-hmm. And doing the best we can to keep our heads from exploding with 3 children in a house, driving us crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been, 2 or 3 months that we've been in the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And so a lot has changed in our house.
Kevin came.
Baby Kevin came. He is the cutest thing you'll ever see. Check us out on Instagram. We should post some pictures on Marriage and Real Estate of the baby.
Don't we do that already?
I don't think there's any pictures of the baby.
Okay.
We have been depriving y'all of all of this cuteness. So that has been one heck of an adjustment.
Literally, physically.
It has physically been an adjustment. Mentally been an adjustment. It has been an adjustment to our sleep for sure. But I mean, you can imagine life with a newborn. But he's pretty good now. We're 3 months in the baby boy game.
Yeah. I mean, having a baby at 33
and 30-ish
is much different than having a baby at 20 or 30.
Which I can't identify with.
Having a baby, everything has its own challenges. But I'd say the biggest challenge with baby Kevin has been the physical aspects of getting up. And then potty training Austin at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it's been a journey. But
when you think about it, and I mean, this is a catch-up episode. So if you're looking for Marriage and Real Estate, that's not quite what you're going to
check us out next week. We'll have more for you right now.
We need to catch y'all up on life, right? Yeah. So I see us potty training right now as a good time because we're already up in the middle of the night with the newborn baby. And so she's gotten the daytime training down, and you'd be surprised, she's actually gotten nighttime training down. Typically, when one of us wakes up with the baby, we are also waking Austin up so that she can go to the potty as well. And so we have nights of dry beds.
Yeah.
Yeah, at night.
I mean, we're not sleeping though.
That's okay. It's a part of this. Oh. You don't sleep with young children.
Okay. Well, hey, that's part of it, and that's where we at.
That is where we are.
That's what we've been doing. And we've been thinking a lot about you guys. We've seen a lot of great comments and feedback and people asking us where episodes at. And we are happy to be back. I'm not going to make any promises, but we're going to do our damnedest to stay consistent. Consistency is one of the things that we are striving to get better at in our imperfect world.
Right. And every successful podcast, every great podcast has consistency. That's what keeps, you guys coming back, is the consistency. And so, we're coming. We're catching up.
We getting there.
Definitely getting there. So, coronavirus. Let's talk about that.
Coronavirus.
And not only how it has impacted us personally, but we're in the real estate industry as well. And we can share some of our experience of how the coronavirus has affected our portfolio, the work that we're currently doing, and you might be surprised what that looks like. You would think that because the world has essentially shut down that people aren't transacting business in real estate, but that's very much not true. We sold 3 houses, and 2 of them were on the onset of the coronavirus.
And then one was right there in the heart of it.
One was in the heart of the coronavirus. And so a lot of people are apprehensive right now about purchasing. A lot of people are apprehensive right now about investing. And truth be told, this is the best time to be investing.
You can't count the market. You don't know from day to day what it's going to be. But what we've seen is on the buy side, the people with their stuff together, the decent jobs, the good credit, they're the ones getting 2% interest rates right now. Things that historically, people just have not seen, right? Like imagine a 2% mortgage rate. I don't think in our parents' lifetime they've had mortgage rates, interest rates that low ever. So it's historical in that regard. And it's also historical because the whole mid-market, the jumbo loan market is gone.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't get a $500,000 to $800,000 loan because that whole mid-market is gone. The $1 million market is stagnant and the very low price market is stagnant. So anything under $150,000 doesn't really exist unless it's like a cash purchase kind of situation. Financing is hard. Refinances are hard.
I don't know. I've heard about a few people refinancing and getting that 2% rate and successfully.
But I'm thinking like investors with rental properties. Like somebody put on a Facebook post today about they have a seasoned property and the bank wouldn't refinance it. Which every lender is different and you gotta keep a wide net of people in your circle.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
I remember, and I don't know if we said this on the podcast at one point, but we kept saying last year how we're preparing ourselves for the recession. We know that there'll be a recession. Now, nobody could have predicted this coronavirus.
Not a single person.
But the people who are winning right now are the people who are in a position to take advantage of what's happening. If you ever listen to Robert Kiyosaki, who I think we speak his praises a lot on the podcast, he's always a big proponent for when the market is down, that's when you buy, that's when you invest. And it may seem scary, but I think investing in general can be scary. There's lots of ups and downs in it. But right now is I just think that it's prime for the picking. And if you can ride out the market, if you have the ability to do that, you have some disposable income, I just would hate for any of you guys to miss out on this opportunity. It's like, I think people can relate to stock, right? Like, when you buy low and sell high, or buy the stock, when it's in its beginning phases and then you reap the benefits. That's what this is in this market today.
It's interesting because you bought your first home in the 2008 recession.
I did.
And you really won. You made $20,000.
I think I'm sure it was over $20,000, right? I got $20,000.
Well, you got $40,000 total, but you got a check back at closing for like $20,000.
Right. And there was just so much, and I remember this too, right? So if you are in the market, it's just time, right? It was the stimulus. I think that was the time they were trying to stimulate the economy. So besides the fact that I got a $20,000 down payment assistance, and then there was the stimulus package that came out. They wanted to stimulate the economy. So anybody who purchased a home in 2008 or 9 got $8,000 stimulus to go along with it. Like, I was winning.
Yeah.
The economy was taking a beating.
But it was really because you had a stable job.
Right.
Good credit. and you were in a position to buy. Right. Not even necessarily that you had to have a crap ton of money for down payment because you ended up getting paid at closing. Mm-hmm. You just had your stuff together. And I think the lesson in this for anybody is to put yourself in a position to take advantage of whatever the opportunities come. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, this last 3 months of Corona, I've been like, where's the opportunity? Where's the opportunity? Where's the opportunity? And really trying to look at everything and honestly pick my own brain to go, how can I be creative in this time? How can we maximize? How can we pivot what's on the horizon, right? I think it's such a time of uncertainty that your certainty needs to come from your definiteness of purpose. Like if you know you want to buy a home, buy one.
That's who's winning though, right? The people who are winning are the people who are like pivoting in this time and making decisions. The thing is, media is built on fear.
Yep.
During the coronavirus, like we're stuck at home and the news is on 24/7 and it's all pushing us fear. It's like the numbers are this, this many people are dying. And that's true. Those things are happening. But if you consume that information, then you will begin to, assume that that's the current state of what life looks like. And I'm here to tell y'all that real estate is moving. Investors are still moving. We still have investors that are calling us looking to place money. Like people understand that this is an opportunity and people are taking advantage of it. And you have to decide where you fall in that.
It's like the Will Smith quote. And I say this quote all the time and I usually don't look at me stupid.
I might not.
From the movie After Earth, where he says, see, I told you she was going to laugh.
I don't know what the quote is. No. But Kevin is always quoting movies like everybody's a movie.
The quote is, fear is not real. Danger is real. Like there's actual things to be, that can harm you. But fear is what we perceive things to be before they've actually come. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's like you're afraid of getting sick, but you're not currently sick. Mm-hmm. You're afraid of losing your job, but you haven't actually lost your job yet. Mm-hmm. There's so many things that could exist, may eventually at some point exist, but can't stop you from operating if they currently don't exist, right? Like if I'm so afraid to go outside from getting sick, there'll become a point where inside I don't have food, I don't have water, I don't have, Mm-hmm. The things that I need. So I have to say, okay, I'm not currently sick. What provisions can I take to go outside and get the stuff I need and come back inside? We're safe. And that's just an example, right? So
it's being responsible, right? Yeah. Like this is the new normal for hopefully a short period of time, but we don't know.
Yeah.
And venturing out responsibly and not staying in one place because of fear. And we've gotten questions since this has happened, like, do you think, what should we do? Should we invest? I was going to hold off on buying a rental property, or I was going to hold off on this investment. If it's not your last, if this is the money that you've earmarked for investments, if this is the money that you said, this is what I'm going to grow this money. It's not an emergency fund. This is your investment money. Then I'm saying right now is the time.
Because, a rental property can't hurt you. It can help you.
Right now,
especially in a time like this. So, I don't know. I think we beating a dead horse on that one.
I just think people want to know what to do. And while we don't have the crystal ball, we can certainly share our experience and our forecast on what that looks like.
Yeah. I think that consuming all the negative in the media doesn't help you. Look at the information. But go back to your original plan, if that was investing or if that was, you want to buy a house this year, you want to get your family out of an apartment or whatever you want to do, you want to move to another place. Don't let the fear of anything else change the fact that you have a plan, right? Like go back to your plan. Now you might have to pivot. You might have to change some things. It might not be perfect for what we thought our 2020 would look like. The days, they just keep on ticking, right? And we have to keep reassessing and going back and tweaking and saying, okay, well, this didn't happen in the States, so now let's move to this or whatever. And that's a part of it, right? Life is a up and down journey. The road to success is never a straight line. If it was, it would be real great. I mean, we wouldn't be on this podcast because we would already be so successful that we wouldn't want to talk to anybody. We'd be sitting in Ivory Castle.
No, we'll never be sitting in an Ivory Castle. We'll always be accessible. We'll always be genuine. But if things would have happened the way we wanted to, life wouldn't look the way it looks today. And that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, life is a never-ending journey. Even the way that we started our journey. Yeah. Even the way that we started our journey together was not complete happenstance, but we couldn't have called it. So
right.
I'd say, like I always say, make a plan and then just keep pushing forward. Don't let the fear stop you.
And look for the opportunities in this time.
And I mean, hey, take it from us on our third start back. Keep going, keep pushing, keep doing the things that is in your heart to do.
Yep. So how have the Sheltons pivoted in the coronavirus times?
So I think one of the biggest things that, especially having the baby and being under quarantine, has helped us do is spend more time as a family. So, I mean, we've been real with our kids. We've been cooking. We've been in the house playing. Of course, we were potty training.
Taking more walks and being out. I think we've spent more time outdoors in our neighborhood than we ever have. If any of you live in a subdivision, I'm sure you see the same thing that we see. There's more people out and about. There's more people at the lake. There's more people riding bikes. There's more families that are outdoors. And that's been really awesome.
Yeah. I mean, you know, one of the things that I realized in this is we live in a house that we've lived in for 3 years that we built new. And I never did all the stuff that I wanted to do. So whether that was putting ceiling fans in or, you know, just painting, doing different things, putting up different artwork, taking the time to do that while we're all at home to make the home nicer, more enjoyable, getting back to a lot of the things that we always talked about doing, but while you're out and about, always on the go, you don't end up doing.
Right. It's been an opportunity to reset, right? Like before you were on this train of hustle and bustle, got to meet these goals, have to hit this threshold, have to do this by this time frame. And COVID-19 came through and said, put the brakes on all of that. Whatever plans you had, like stop right there. You need to revise and reevaluate that. I mean, literally.
And not only put the brakes on it, but is it what you really want?
Well, I mean, literally we had how many? I think like 7 new construction projects that we have on the books, right? Mm-hmm. And we have a timeline on the wall. This needs to happen in this month and this needs to happen in that month. And that coronavirus just came through and was like, nah.
Like, nah, push all that back.
Nah, that's not how that's going to look. And especially on the onset and when they begin to shut down the economy and shut down essentially the world, you didn't know when it would come back, right?
And see, the crazy part is now not only are you faced with the world shutting down, your kids are in your house, so you got to deal with that on top of, like, you're trying to do work, but the 12-year-old is not in school, so she has to figure out online school. Mm-hmm. The 3-year-old is in your face, and you got to figure out some type of structure for the day, and you got a brand new baby. So that has definitely been probably the hardest transition, is actually working from home when everybody at the house.
Mm-hmm. True.
Then I think a lot of people have that pain, right? Like, how do you actually get stuff done when somebody's in your face all the time?
I mean,
even with your marriage. Yeah, that's probably one of the bigger things is intimacy while working, while parenting. Like, it's truly the trifecta, right? Like, it's balancing all those things at home at the same time, and it's challenging.
And also giving yourself and your partner grace, because it is a challenging time. It is an unprecedented time. Having it all together or trying to have it all together is truly, I think, unrealistic right now, right? And I know for myself, I definitely had to give myself grace because I felt like, oh man, I really haven't gotten this done or that done, or I haven't accomplished anything. And it's just a crazy time. You can't hold it to the same candle as you did this time last year, you know?
Yeah. No, true story. So I guess here's my question for you, Aisha.
Put me on the spot.
Do you feel like our marriage and family have grown closer, better, good, bad? What's the quarantine shelter family update from Aisha's
Quarantine
perspective?
convictions. Listen, I think we've definitely faced our challenging times, right? Both between you and I, if we're being realistic, and between the kids too. Like, we just put the 3-year-old back in childcare, and she needed it. Like, she needed it more than we did. She was losing her mind.
Yeah.
Which
true.
in turn made us lose our mind. And I know that there's some people out there that can relate. I won't call names because, you know, they shall all remain innocent and nameless, but definitely in my circle of influence with children around the same age, we struggling, y'all.
It was funny. Who had that post talking about if you name your children like your coworkers or whatever and say something on Facebook about them? Like,
I did that. That was hilarious. The comments were so funny. That was great.
My coworker always wants juice and always eats everything in the refrigerator.
Right. My coworker is so demanding. It's always sexually harassing me. Like,
pulling on my shirt.
Right. Oh God, that was funny.
That was good. The winner in COVID quarantine has definitely been the internet. The internet has been winning.
Yes. Oh, who's been winning? TikTok has been winning.
TikTok, Zoom, Instagram, Facebook.
I'm looking at all the pivots that all of these large platforms are making, and now Facebook has a group video messaging feature.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, these people are business people and real estate people are sitting down and saying, okay, this is the new reality. How are we going to take advantage of this time?
So that's a challenge for the regular everyday couples, though. Like, how are you pivoting?
Yeah.
Like, how do you plan to pivot your goals and dreams? You know, is that, okay, now you like working from home, so now you want this to be a permanent thing. A good friend of mine was saying the other day, it's a good time for him for a career change because he's seen maybe he doesn't like his job as much as he had, which is a crazy time, but it gives you the time to invest in what's next for you. Like, life is long and short at the same time. And if you're not going to get to the business of dying, you better get to the business of living because you're still going to be here. We're like Billy Sorrells, he said it in a podcast with Kev on Stage. He was saying, this is halftime. Life ain't over. And that's a really good way to put it. This is halftime. Mm-hmm. So second quarter, like, or not second quarter, third quarter.
We in the third
You can tell
quarter.
I'm watching them goddamn sports. Third quarter, what are you about to do? Third quarter in the year and third quarter in a second quarter in life, right? Like, this is the other half of life. So what are you going to do? How are you going to change your mind, change your future? How are you going to push forward?
Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about is the quarantine 15.
Oh, that's real. That's real. On top of baby weight.
Listen, oh, excuse you? You must be talking about yourself.
I'm talking about myself.
Okay.
I'm not talking about you.
Y'all better get them.
Who is y'all? Ain't nobody
the
here.
listeners.
Ain't nobody here, bro.
Somebody out there is clutching their pearls when you said baby weight. Like, no, he didn't, girl. That's what I'm saying. No, he didn't, girl. The Corona 15. And some of us are going to come out of the quarantine fine. Okay? I'm looking at my Facebook and my social media, and I'm seeing people work out and get fit and get fine. And then there's me. I'm eating snacks. I wanted cake for Mother's Day. And I said, okay, not after Mother's Day. Let me be real honest. After this cake is done, that's when I'm going to make some changes. Because I don't want to be one of the people that come out of the quarantine with that fresh 15. Fresh. On top of this new baby, which truly, this second baby weight is something that I've never contended with, obviously.
No, I mean, it's definitely, that has its own journey. Fitness is a thing. I was doing real good. I was walking a mile a day with the kids, and then I completely fell off like 2 weeks ago. So now I got to jump back on. I think this is a great example that life is just a series of stops and starts. You got to keep picking up the ball and dribbling.
I think for all of our fit friends, fans, and followers.
We hate you.
No, we don't.
Okay,
Kevin does.
Sorry.
Let me tell you about me. I was going to say, drop all the tips, hints, tricks, and things that we can do to come out physically better, mentally better, but definitely exercise-wise, diet-wise, we're here for it. We're the couple that's always striving to be better. We know that the people that follow us and listen to us are the kinds of people that are always striving to be better. And that's one area where we definitely can use some improvement. We like good food.
We do.
And we eat good food a lot. I'm just being honest.
That's true.
Okay. So, let us know what kind of tips, tricks, and hacks you guys have for us to help. I'm sure we're not the only ones who's struggling with that.
No, true story.
So what you have or what you share could, potentially help somebody else. If you want to be, I'm going to throw this out there, if you want to be a guest on the podcast about that quarantine 15 and how to combat that quarantine 15, you are.
Yeah, let's open it up. I really want to see. I want to see what you guys want to hear. We want to find out who you'd like to see on the podcast. Drop some names. Tell us. We jumping back in this thing, so jump back with us. Get your 15 worked off by the tips and recommendations, because we want to get fit and fine and get our lives together, and we're all gonna jump back on life together. So now that the world is opening back up, sorry we made y'all wait so long for another podcast, but we had to open ourselves back up and open our world back up. But we are back, and we're going to get back on this thing. So, Well, this has been Kevin and Aisha Shelton for the Marriage and Real Estate Podcast. Peace.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Marriage and Real Estate Podcast, where we navigate partnership, prosperity, and parenthood. So each and every week, you get new tips, tools, and tactics to build the life of your dreams.